So, who are we speaking with today?
Ashley, or otherwise known as Kerr.
So, my first question for you: favorite childhood TV show?
Oh gosh, so I watched so much TV as a kid, so it's hard to choose, but my brain goes immediately to Power Rangers probably.
Ooh,
I had this friend, and on Saturday mornings, we would sit on the phone and watch Power Rangers together. We wouldn't talk, we would just be there on the phone, and then there'd be like an ad, and then we'd talk. And then, okay, it's back. And then we just sit there on the phone watching Power Rangers. So I just have, yeah, really fond memories of it. But I watched so much too, like
yeah.
a gross amount of television as a kid.
Now, that's true friendship, though, where you can, and this is before FaceTime days, so it's not even like you had a screen.
Right.
See, it was all breathing and just
No,
laughing.
exactly. Exactly.
Are
Yeah.
you still there? All right.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
dope. Did you have a specific ranger that you wanted to be?
Oh gosh, I didn't have a ranger that I wanted to be, but I loved the Green Ranger, which is, I think, probably a bit of a controversial answer. I don't think he was very well liked, but yeah, I loved Tommy, the Green Ranger.
If you could be in any, I guess, fictional universe, you could live there. Where would you want to live? It could be TV, it could be book, wherever.
There was this Canadian show growing up. I'm not sure if you know. It's called Reboot. Have you heard of it?
I don't know that.
So the show took place inside a computer. And I was just telling a friend yesterday, actually, that I feel like this concept would work really well now. Like, I feel like this show could be rebooted now. So it took place inside this society called Mainframe. And all the people were inside this computer, and people were flying around, but there was still like regular diners and restaurants and things, but then the outside user would input a game, and then all the people in the computer would be the NPCs in the game. And it was just a really cool universe.
I never heard about that, but there's Cyber Chase. And that was a show that I had growing up, and that's really similar to Reboot.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to look that up, and I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
make some connections because that sounds really close to it was on PBS. And okay. And also, for everybody who may not know, Ashley is in Australia and I'm in the US. This is the first international MDM Network interview, which is really dope. So
Yeah, it's
there's a
cool.
reason why I may not know what Reboot is, and there's a reason why you may not know what Cyber Chase is, and that's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Got you. Now, when I think through how I first came across your content, there was a video that Millennial Misery shared on their story, I believe. And I was like, yo, who is this? Because the dramatics, the green screen usage, the costuming, this is unmatched. It would be irresponsible of me to not follow. And
Thank you.
I think you were imitating, I think it was Chris Brown featuring T-Pain, and it was Kiss Kiss. I think that was the music video that you were imitating, and you did it so well.
Thank you. I had a lot of fun with that one, actually. Well, I have fun with most of them. I have fun with all of them, but that one was particularly fun.
With that in mind, take me back in your content creation journey. When was that first moment that you picked up a camera and said, "Yeah, I'm gonna record something"?
Well, I think like a lot of people, I got onto TikTok during lockdown
Mm.
and didn't really know what it was, and was just scrolling and starting to understand that there was trends and audios, and just understanding the whole thing. And then I started thinking, oh, maybe I could put out a couple of videos. And this kind of leads back into why my name is Kerr, because if you scroll back like 2 years in my content, I first started doing content about being a toddler mom. So that's where the mama comes from. And, I was getting a few likes and shares and things, but nothing big. But I thought, I'll just keep going. This is pretty fun. And then one day I was coming home from work. I'd gone to Sydney for work and I was on a bus on the way home and I was listening to Linkin Park. I thought to myself, oh gosh, that music video was so cool. And started kind of picturing myself in the music video. And that was the first time when I got home, I thought, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try that out. But before that, I was doing some kind of random things. And I also had a whole series of misheard lyrics. So
Mm.
that actually went pretty well. I think I did a Sean Paul one that went viral, and I was like, okay, people like this. And then I started doing more of those misheard lyric ones. But then my first like music video, which was pretty, when you compare it to the stuff I do now, was pretty terrible. But that was the first time that I thought, yeah, I'm gonna try this green screen thing and try all that out. Started getting requests for things and just thinking how can I do it better and learning a little bit more about editing and just growing from there.
I was about to say, you didn't just try. You said, I'm gonna put this to the max. I'm gonna engross myself in this. I'm gonna become the artist.
Yeah, yeah.
When you're making content, it can be difficult just to put your face on camera. Like just getting over that hump of maybe I want to record something and put my art out there for other people to see. But it's another thing to really go through the editing, go through the costume, and go through all of the details of
Mhm.
getting the hits. And especially with your music videos, like you're doing direct reenactments. So you got to make sure
Mhm.
that you get all the details just right.
Yeah. I've always been known, if you ask any of my friends, I've always been known to pay like an annoying amount of attention to details. So I've always been like that. And I enjoy those little, I guess, Easter eggs and things
Mhm.
like that, putting them in my videos. I really, really love it when people notice those things because there's certain things that people will compliment, which is I love any compliment, of course. But when someone touches on the thing that I was like, yes, you got it. Like, that makes me so happy.
And that'd be the type of stuff where it's like, if only one person gets this, the
Exactly.
video is worth every
Exactly.
second.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Have you encountered burnout with content creation, and how have you navigated that?
So it each video that I do takes between 3 and 5 hours to complete. So getting like mentally prepared to to do all of that can be a lot. I try to do one a week. It's getting that, okay, I've just got to do it. And sometimes there's some videos that I want to do and I just can't quite figure out how I'm going to do it. Honestly, my husband encourages me so much. Like
Yes.
he's like just do it. Or I don't know if you've seen any of the ones that we actually go out and shoot like in the forest and things like that. My husband will be like, I'll drive you to this place, and he's like, show me the video, show me what you want to do. And he's like, yeah, I know exactly where you're going to get that shot. And he like, there's one of my best performing video which has 5 million views, which is, that's quite a significant jump from my next one down. I almost didn't want to do that one because I just couldn't quite figure it out in my head. And my husband one day said, look, we've got a day free, show me the video. And I showed it to him and he goes, yeah, I know exactly where you're going to get that. And it's been my best one. So yeah, he definitely encourages me a lot.
There's three key things there. One, support a spouse. Just
Oh
hang
yeah.
back. Just a
Oh,
hang
for
back for the
sure.
support. Number two, those moments when you genuinely don't feel like it or you don't think it's going to turn out the way you want it to turn out,
Mm-hmm.
having that one piece of encouragement, like encouragement from somebody
Mm-hmm.
else who believes in you, that can really help when you don't
Oh,
feel like it,
absolutely.
especially. And then the third thing, the video that you don't think is gonna be a hit, the video where it's like, all right, I'll put a little bit of effort into it, whatever. Or I did it, but I don't think it's gonna go anywhere, ends up being the most popular video
That's
you've
so
ever
right. That's
made.
so right. Yeah. And I was once I finished it, I was really proud of it. But I have had other videos that I thought, oh, I think this is maybe a little bit simple, a little bit boring, and they've done so well. And then like everyone, the opposite can happen too, where you put so much effort in and you think, okay, this is the one. Like, this is the one that's going to go crazy. No.
400 views.
Yeah, it hurts.
Now, what is your creative process? How do you go from idea to post?
So I play things out in my head over and over and over again. So I've got a massive list of videos that I want to do, and okay, I'll decide on one or maybe three that I can't quite decide on, and I'll play it out in my head and I'll picture myself just like I, the joke that I'm making, that I picture myself in the video, it's true. I literally do that and play it over and over and over again in my head. Make sure I have all the right costumes and all of that. But when it comes down to filming, I just go for it. Once it starts, I just go. It's only recent that I've started doing the shot for shot remakes. Before I was just kind of doing the general vibe of the music video and putting elements in it. And recently I've started trying to challenge myself a bit more and do shot for shot. So I'll have an iPad watching the clip and making sure I've got the right angle and all of that. And then once I've got all my shots, I like to edit really quickly. I just want to get it done. Once I've got everything filmed, sometimes I just go straight and and start editing. So much that I've actually given myself an injury recently from editing for like a whole day, basically. And so I just like to get it all out there, and so that I can get back to my life, the other aspects of it. Otherwise it sits in my head, and I'm like, no, I've just got to get it. I've just got to get it done, get it out.
You done turn content creation into a contact sport. How
Oh,
do you get an inch?
like, it's what do they call it? Gamer's thumb, from that motion of editing. So I edit on my phone, and it started because I was getting the first part of my thesis ready at the same time. So I was editing a lot, writing like crazy, and working. And then next thing I knew, I was like, I can't move my thumb.
Okay, you said the word thesis. This actually is a perfect segue into my next question. What are some things that people who follow you on social media may not know about you? One thing, you're an academic.
I am an academic. I think a big thing that people don't think about is the fact that I have a job at all. That TikTok is not my job, and I have a full-time job, and I'm doing my PhD as well at the same time. I think that would probably surprise some people. Hopefully not too much. Hopefully it wouldn't surprise them too much. But but yeah.
What's your PhD in?
So my PhD is in virtual reality frameworks for education.
So ed tech. Oh my God.
Mm.
So fun fact, I defended my PhD May 2nd.
Oh,
So
wow.
we're both
That must
academics.
be good.
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah. We're both academics and we're both content creators.
Yeah, awesome.
So I got mine in sociology, but it's always so dope meeting other academics in the wild.
It is.
Because when you talk about writing and research, then you're literally using your research muscles in your content creation. And when you're doing all that writing and stuff, honestly, editing a video is similar to editing a paper.
It is. Yeah, it is. And when you're writing a paper, you want to put everything in it, right? You want to put everything in, and at certain points you have to make decisions of removing stuff, but it's part of you, right? And you go, how do I get rid of that? How do I get rid of that? And it's the same with content creation. I settling on which part of the song am I going to do? I want to do the whole thing, but that's just too crazy. So which part do I not do, and which parts do I have to sacrifice? So it is similar.
I literally just lit up like a Christmas tree internally. I was trying to keep it in. When you first said thesis, I was like, but what else? You got thesis, you got a full-time job. Are there hobbies that aren't content creation that people would be surprised about?
Well, I think so. In my videos, a lot of times the instruments that are real, obviously some of them are like overlays. People are always like, how do you have all of those? Or like, why do you have a guitar? And it's like, well, I play the guitar. It's not that, is it that outrageous that I would have a guitar? Like, because I play the guitar. I'm not like crazy good or anything, but I've been playing since I was a kid, and I get that comment a lot of like, why do you have that? Something else that people almost always assume is that I'm American. People are like usually shocked to find out that I'm not American. Recently, I very rarely do videos where I speak,
Mhm.
and I did one recently, and almost every comment was like, "You're not American? Oh my gosh!" And I have a bit of a mixed accent because I grew up in Canada, and I left Canada when I was 19. Went to London, and then I've been in Australia since 2007. So I've got a bit of a mix going on there, but I think a lot of people assume that I'm American. Or like I did a Cheryl Cole song recently, and there are so many comments going like, "Oh, I didn't know this song was popular in the US," and I was like, I don't know if it was. They're like, "Oh, was this popular in the US?" I don't know.
Yo, on
It was
everything I
popular here
love,
in Australia.
on everything I love, I definitely thought you're from the US because a lot of the media that you were portraying in the songs and stuff
Yeah,
in the US. So I was like, yeah, black woman.
yeah,
If you got T-Pain and Chris Brown in the mix, like there's a high
yeah. And
chance.
so I definitely do a lot of the music that I grew up with. So I started doing more like 90s and early 2000s, and then started branching out into the later 2000s. So the music that I listened to in high school is very American, I suppose. But also, I did listen to a lot of Canadian music as well, and I do really love a lot of Australian music. But the biggest part of my following, about I think 85% of my followers are in the US. I have really been, starting to think about, okay, I really want to do some Australian music and show those types of songs that I love as well, but I'm not sure it would resonate with my audience. But it might bring a bigger audience too. So maybe I just have to choose something.
Look, anything with you in the green screen, I'm locked in because whenever it's the shots when you're in your car and then you zoom into your brain, I'm like, oh, let me get the popcorn. Let's see what we come up with next because I'm here. I'm here.
So something that I recently has made me feel really, really good is, I try not to look too much at the analytics. Try not to stress about it too much. In the analytics, you can see when someone has when most people have liked your video, and it shows that people basically like the video as soon as they see my face. And I'm just like that just made me feel so good, that they're like, okay, I know that this is going to be a ride, which is what I want.
On the opposite side of this, have you engaged or come across trolls in the comment section, people who
Oh, of
don't like your
course.
content? How has that been?
So before I was doing music videos and I was doing the misheard lyric stuff, which I quite enjoyed, you get people who just like either they didn't want to get the joke or they just genuinely didn't get the joke, and they'd be like, those aren't the lyrics. Or they'd be like, didn't you read the insert in the CD? Like, are you stupid? Or like, and I'm like, it's a joke. Like, chill. And I remember there was one comment section where I was like blocking people because they were being so mean about it. And I was like, really? Like, is this upsetting you that much? And then that content, I started getting people like copying it. A lot of people do misheard lyric content. That I definitely didn't invent that style of content, but the way that I was doing it was a bit unique. And people were like taking exactly my spelling, my angles, like just recreating exactly what I was doing. And then I started getting tagged in those videos, and people were getting like it started just being a little bit weird. So I thought to myself, if I'm making content that's that easily replicated, maybe I should, you know, start looking at something else. Like that was fun. I really enjoyed it, but yeah, it brought on a lot of trolls. And yeah, there was one particular creator. I don't even remember who it was in the end, but who was like doing, like, every time I would do one, like he would do the same thing. I was like, oh my god, like, okay, sure. I was like, you know what? You can have this content, this style of content. I'm gonna start looking for other things to do, and that's when I ended up doing the music videos. And of course, with the music videos, I still get trolls, or just rude comments. And my taste in music is quite eclectic. There's quite a range that I put out there, and a lot of the more kind of like rock or alternative stuff, I get people saying like, oh, like, did you really listen to this music? Like, this isn't black people music. And I'm like, oh, like, come on,
Oh my God.
Yeah, I get that quite a lot, actually.
You
Hmm.
know, I,
Yeah, I know. I know. What do you even say to that?
I'm sorry your taste in music is so limited.
Exactly.
That's all I can say. Because when you said Linkin Park, I immediately thought of the song Encore, and then other songs of like alternative and rock. Like I love various types of genres of music as well. So I agree wholeheartedly with you, and I'm feeling sad for the people who were trolling you. So just reinforcing that you're doing the right thing. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to let that stop me. But the vast majority of the comments I get are very positive, and I love that. So there's always gonna be a few trolls out there.
When you think about your creativity, your creative process, and what that means for like the era of monetization, because now with social media, there are so many ways to get paid to be creative, which is amazing.
Mm,
It can also be troublesome in some ways, but have you navigated monetization or partnerships or anything like that with brands? How have you, if you have,
mm.
how have you navigated it?
Interestingly, we don't have the Creator Fund in Australia.
Mm.
So there's no way to directly monetize content through the platform, through TikTok, which is where most of my content is. And in a way, I find it's a bit of a relief,
Mm.
because I'm just doing this for fun. And when I don't want to do it anymore, I can just stop doing it if I want to, because it's not bringing in income. I'm not depending on it. It's something I just like to do. And yeah, and I'll do it as long as it makes me happy and it makes other people happy as well. So when it comes to monetization, it's not something I've dwelled too much on. That being said, I have done a couple of brand deals, some small ones, which has been good. And I did say to myself, I made myself a bit of a promise that I would only do brand deals with companies that I either already use or would, with products that I would use. So not just random things, because I just personally for me, I feel like that would I'd lose a little bit of integrity if I just started trying to peddle random things. So I've definitely said no to more than I've said yes to. And that's great. I think if I can earn a little bit of money, it just goes into buy more wigs or whatever, to fund a little bit of my process. So people are always like, oh, budget, you got such a budget. I was like, what part of this video made you think I have any budget? Like, what, like, tell me what part made you think I have a budget? But yeah, so monetization is not really that much on my radar right now. If we get the creator fund here, that would be great. As far as it is now, it's, yeah, not a thing, unfortunately.
That's crucial to just point out, like for any content creators or people who want to get into it, who are listening or watching this, you can just create for fun.
Mm,
You don't have to make content creation your full-time job.
that's right. Yeah.
It's okay to just have a page and just post just because you want to.
It takes the pressure off. I still do feel pressure, mostly for myself, but it does take the pressure off when it's not, it's not a source of income. It's just a hobby. And I feel very fortunate that I can just do it because I want to. And I have a full-time job that I love that keeps me going as well.
What are some pieces of advice you would give to somebody who is looking to start creating content for the first time?
So I think one is just go for it, you know. See what happens. You can always take the video down if it if you don't like it later, or and try to, if you're looking at content and going, I could do that. The chance that you probably can if you just if you just try, but also try to find something that is unique about it. If you're going to jump on a trend or do content that's similar to someone else, find a way to make it your own and do something that's a little bit different. Yeah, I don't know if that's good advice, but
It's good. It's just honestly getting out of your own way of self-doubt and self-limiting
mm,
beliefs. Oh, I can't do it like them, so I don't think I'll do it well enough, quote unquote. No, you can do it. It'll just be in your own way. And who knows, it
mm,
may go viral because it's that one thing that you didn't think was gonna go, and it just
exactly.
happens to pop.
There's like no excuse to not know how to do something. There's so that people always ask me like, oh, how did you learn how to edit? And I'm like, I just fumble my way through it. I'm literally winging it. I have no idea what I'm doing. I just figure it out, and anyone could do that. It's not unique to me.
And in the back of my mind, I'm still visualizing 5 million views. What was it like? Like, how did you feel the first time you went viral? And by that, I mean a video got over 1 million views. Like, what was genuinely going through your mind?
It was really weird because I just kept seeing, like, I'd refresh or I'd check back in like 10 minutes later, and the views were just like jumping and jumping. And I was like, oh my goodness. But it's so funny when you talk to people who are not on social media or not on TikTok,
Mhm.
and you're feeling good about something, and you tell them, and they either don't care, they don't get it, or they just kind of try to diminish what you're what you're saying. So I did tell a couple of people like, oh, I had a video go viral, and I had comments everywhere from like, oh, I don't know, I don't really know what that means, to, yeah, I've had a couple too, anything can go viral, or things like that. So it was fun for me, and that video, my first video that went viral, it was posted on a few different platforms from different accounts. So I had people reaching out to me saying they had been sent my video, and they're like, I know her, I work with her. Or I had someone from my work message me and say, hey, are you by any chance on TikTok? And I said, yeah. And they're like, yeah, someone in another country sent me this video of you. And yeah, so that was kind of funny. So that was the first time, and now that happens, I guess, a little bit more often. Every now and again, someone from work finds me on TikTok. And then I worry that they're never going to take me seriously again because my job is quite, academic and serious. And
Have you ever been recognized in person?
not exactly. I've had a couple of times where people have commented that they saw me out, like
Hmm.
after the fact. So they're like, oh, I saw you at so and so, or or were you at this place? And I was kind of like, oh, what, you should have said hello or something, or something. So I haven't had anyone like come up to me. Like I said before, I don't really have a lot of followers in Australia.
Mhm.
So it'd be a pretty slim chance that people would recognize me, but maybe more have and just haven't said anything. It's definitely not a regular occurrence or anything like that.
Clear the room. Ashley's coming
Yeah.
in. VIP.
No.
VIP.
I live in a pretty small town, and there's a person that I I see, regularly, and he knows about my TikToks. And every time I run into him, he's like he's like, "Hey, did you know this is the most famous person in the town?" I'm like, "Oh my God, please stop it," because they don't know, like, that nobody knows in my town that I live in.
Mm.
Yeah, a
I
bit embarrassing.
I love it. I love it. So, what is the future for your creative journey, whether it's on
Mm.
or off social media?
Well, I think if I look through where I started in social media, or in content creation, I should say, to
Mm,
where I am now, I've definitely had moments where I'm like, okay, is this just what I'm going to be doing for the foreseeable future? And then my content changes and I find a way to build on it or shift focus or find another series to do. So right now, I'm definitely sticking to music videos because I love it, but I could definitely see myself doing something else in the future. I'd love to do more collaborations. I just, love working with other creators, and I think that's really fun. In terms of off social media, I'm not sure. I don't know what opportunities might find me or what I might find. Like I said, I do live in a pretty small town, so I'm not going to be doing anything big here. And I do like that separation of my
mm.
life and then, being on social media.
Do you have any questions for me?
Not so much questions, but I just, I want to say thank you so much for reaching out and thinking of me and wanting to talk to me. It's really, just really nice. So yeah, thank you for that.
Thank you so much for your time. I can't wait to see what comes out of your brain next because
Yeah, there's lots more coming for sure. I've got, yeah, lots on the list and lots that my husband wants to help with as well because he really loves getting involved in those outdoorsy ones. So
Mhm.
yeah, there's lots more to come.
But to close out, where can people find you on the internet?
So I'm on TikTok as Kerr and same on Instagram as well.
I'll link all the things in the description so people will be able to find you without any problem. Yeah, thank
Thank
you
you.
again for your time. And this may not be the last interview, so we'll see what happens next.
Okay, thank you so much.